Hello, Justine D'Andrea here with Bible Journaling Ministries Creative Team, and today we're doing printables from Colossians 1:12 through 14. Here are the Faith Dex printables. This is the interleaved or the inspired Bible one, and then this one here is more for the journaling Bible with the columns. Some of the supplies that you're going to need is some stamps for background work, some ink pads to match the printables, and then tacky glue. I'm using tacky glue, not my regular glue for part of it. Acrylic block for your stamps, some fine glitter, then some, we're going to work on some background work. So we're going to do some shaving cream, maybe a palette knife, and then your little credit card or something that's stiff like that. About 3 colors of acrylic paint that matches the printables. And also some white paint. You will need some white paint and then a paper plate. So if you're ready, let's get started. So today I am working in the Inspired Bible and I want a white surface where I don't want the Colossians to read. So I'm going to use some white paint and I'll probably have to do a couple layers and I'm going to cover it up. So if ever that happens to you and you just want to go ahead and cover it up with paint or white gesso, there is white gesso. We always use clear gesso, but white gesso is like a white paint. So just make sure that when you're getting your gessos, you're not. I remember when I first started, I bought gesso and it had a grit in it, and that's okay if you're doing something with mixed media or something like that, but not for in our Bibles. So my background is completely dry. I'm gonna grab some shaving cream. Now you don't need a lot. I'm putting a little bit too much on my plate. Towards the end, I'll show you probably about half of what I'm using. Um, and I've showed you guys this before. Our We're learning about using stamps as backgrounds, but this kind of just added to um, the texture and just the way I wanted the background to look. So you kind of level out the shaving cream a little bit, and you don't need a lot of paint. You're just going to put a couple dots here and there. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix it, but not completely together. So once I get this open, so I'm using orange and green, and then a little bit of yellow. And just randomly placing dots around. This is a very fun technique to use when you're trying to think of backgrounds to use. So what I'm doing is I'm giving my background some color, and then I'm going to go ahead with my stamps and use some ink and go over the background. And my green here, my acrylic green was a little too dark, so I want to mute it up a little bit. So I'm going to mute it with some white and just make it a little bit lighter. And what I'll do is use a palette knife just to kind of spread it around. So when you're looking for something fun but quick, this really is very effective, I think. And you're going to get addicted. You're going to want to keep going because it's a lot of fun. It's like when you first learn the credit card trick and then now you're adding another level. So you're just kind of swirling it around. You don't want to mix it too much because you'll muddy up the waters there. So, just kinda swirl it, and just make sure your blobs of, the paint are a little bit swirled in. You take just a very little, you don't need a lot, and you're just gonna scrape down our normal credit card swipe, and then you'll go back in and grab a little bit more. So what's gonna happen is the shaving cream will dry and your Bible will smell awesome. Now, it's basically kinda like the normal acrylic credit card, swipe that we do, except this gives it a little bit more freedom to move around. I don't have, um I didn't put a lot of paint on mine. If you wanna make it more of an effect and, make it darker, I kinda wanted it a little bit more transparent, but you can add more acrylic paint if you wanted to because, I am I'm stamping on it, I just wanted it as a little bit of extra color and texture. So, once you do a swipe, you wanna, kinda wipe it off of your card because you wanna like I said, make sure you don't wanna muddy up the waters there. Alright, and then I just wanted to add straight on green, so I just dipped my credit card into the green paint, and I just added a little bit of green paint to it. But here, this is about how much you need. What I'm showing you right here, that's about how much you need. You don't really need as much as I did, unless you wanna have fun and just a good thing to do is just take copy paper and then just put the backing, do it the technique on the paper, and then you could save it for another time. A lot of people do that. This way you have background, backgrounds ready for other projects. So you can see. All right. So you need to let that dry. Make sure it dries. It is gonna be a little slick um on the page. Kind of like yeah, you'll so you have to be careful. Like you want to definitely use um archival inks or like the distressed inks or so I wanted to do a stitching. I have these now these particular stamps. The first stamp set here that I'm using is actually from like 2007. I'll try to see if the website is still around, but it's paperpiazza.com. But yeah, it didn't come out exactly the way I wanted it to. Um, my thinking on doing this page is the printables, our Easter printables, and I was thinking of an Easter egg, when we dye Easter eggs and the things that we do to the Easter egg. So, we dip them in the water and we sometimes can get the high dye effect. And then we do write with crayons, I guess. And but then I'm thinking, Easter eggs, and I love the Easter egg, like when you see them Easter cards that have the glitter. So I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of make it so it reminds me of Easter. So once the shaving cream background is all dry, I'm going to take my polka dot stamp and I am gonna take two different stamp pads and do half in one color and then half in another color. And I'm gonna um, do it all across my background. So it's like a two-tone. and you can't really see it. And I'm using first, second, and third generation, meaning that I'm stamping the first time, which is the first generation, the second time without re-inking it, and then the third. So, and that kind of just gives it a little different effect, so it's not all so stark and all the same shade. And just got to be careful because you can get the opposite ink on your pad, but I'm okay with that. And usually you can probably, well, sometimes you can wipe it off. So you're just gently dabbing it on, and it's just giving a little more texture to the back of my background. And kind of like a wallpaper. I don't do that technique very often, so this is something different for me. And like I said, I'm just kind of I'm thinking of all the things that reminded me of Easter. Um, Definitely glitter is one of them, like on a Christmas, on an Easter card. So I'm trying to think of a way to um, add some glitter, and I was gonna um, emboss it, which is probably one way that you can do it, but I couldn't. I didn't like the way it was turning out. So I was like, all right, what's another way that I can do it? Oh, that's right. The glitter I had was not embossing glitter. So as I'm placing my printables, I'm gonna read the WE version of the verse. Giving thanks to the Father who made us fit to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light, who delivered us out of the power of darkness and translated us into the kingdom of the Son of his love, in whom we have our redemption, the forgiveness of our sins. Colossians 1:12 through 14. So I'm going to, like, oh boy, every time I say so, I need to give you guys some money or something. Tacky glue. I'm using a bigger dot now. I thought I'll give that a try. And you need tacky glue because what we're going to do is we're going to stamp into the tacky glue. Tacky glue is thicker, so it's going to hold better than if you were to use a runnier or thinner glue. And I'm just spreading a very thin layer, and I'm just going to stamp into it a couple times, and then I'm going to stamp my page. I'm randomly going to put some stamps. Now, you might want to do this one at a time because you'll see in a few seconds that I did it 3 times and then I forgot where I put the stamp, so I wasn't exactly sure where to put the glitter. But this gives just a light little fun effect on the background as opposed to now you don't like this would look really nice now that I'm thinking of it. Maybe in a cross too. If you have a cross stamp and you want to put a cross, then you would just do the same way, just add a little bit of tacky glue to your plate. And oh yeah, you know what? I might go ahead and add that in. It's funny when, after you're done, you think of other things. And that's another reason why I like doing it with other people because we get ideas from each other. Like I'm pretty sure somebody in my group would have come up with that idea. So because there's so much going on in my background, I'm not going to use a lot of printables, which then gives me the opportunity to use them for other journaling pages. And you can just put them in a file or in an envelope if you want to cut them all up and put them in an envelope. And then you can use them at a later time. But there is plenty printables there. You can't see, I don't think, the glitter, but it is there. And I'll show you towards the end of the video more of a closer look of the background of it. So I will randomly go through and there you go, just a little bit. I just wanted to add just a little bit of sparkle to the page, just another way of using your stamps to yeah, to use your stamps. So let's see. I think that's pretty much done. I'm gonna go ahead and put on my printables. Sometimes to me when I'm looking at it, it looks a little messy, but honestly, in person, once you get the printables on, I thought it looked really cute. So I hope that you'll give this a try and then share it with us so that we can see what you've done. And if you're not part of the Momentum membership, you might want to think about doing that, or you can purchase the kits separately at BibleJournalingMinistries.com. All right, so I had a little issue with my glue, so got my glue going back again. Now you don't have to use white glue. You can use a glue stick. I just prefer to use normally white glue. Right now, I think I'm wishing I used the glue stick. But yeah, keeping it simple with the printables because there's so much going on in the background, and that's okay. Alrighty then. So this page is finished for me. I love it because it's not for me, it kind of did what I wanted it to do. And I hope that you will give it a try, if not the whole page, then maybe parts of the techniques that I've showed you. So until next time, God bless you and keep you. And that's it. Bye, everyone.